Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be doing another reading. It's a different kind of random reading today. Basically, we are going to, I'll be doing a little bit of the water signs, the air signs of this reading. As you can see, you will see these cards in a moment. But the thing is that when we're going to get started, we have to remember about the energies can switch from the time, like from morning, afternoon, evening. It could change into from a day to a week, you know. So it seems to be how that is, right? We have to remember that when I always keep saying this in my videos, there's always, a beginning, a middle, and end. It's like a story. But it's not really, because the point being is that when it comes to everything seems to be as what it is, it's like technically probably not, because the point being is that everything can switch from day, month, year, past, present, future, whatever it is. But you have to remember that things will take time as they go along. I always say this in my videos because that's what it seems to be, right? We have to remember that we have to take charge of what we do. We have to take charge of being positive as what we do. But when we have a bad day into it turn into a good day, like yesterday. Yesterday I had between a bad day and then all of a sudden it was smoothing into a good day. So that's a good example. But when I had a bad day, it was all these emotions were switching. EW stands for emotion switch. That's what it stands for, right? So, it seems to be how that is, right? We have to remember that things can take as long as it needs to, but we have to remember that we have to justify of how everything is, right? Now, the point being is that in this reading we have basically more info, so I usually do this, it's been so long. But we have to remember about this is for Scorpio and Gemini in this situation. So if you're a Scorpio, welcome. If you're a Gemini, welcome as well. Because this is very interesting. I'm kind of like doing the playing card situation. I'm doing the dice situation. I'm doing my paperwork situation here because I did that yesterday, but I'm doing it today. And this is how it's going to be. So we're going to look at this from step forward, and then I hope that you guys will like this video. Remember to give this a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't decided to. And remember, you can follow me between yeah, if you follow me on YouTube, Zoya Alex, and you can follow me on Spirited Alex on my other channel as well. So just remember about that. Anyway, so this is how it seems to be at the moment. So if you're the Six of Hearts, if you're the Four of Spades, this is what it seems to be. All right, so here we go. So if you're the Six of Hearts, you have emotions. Emotions are for Scorpio. Okay. Now it means that if you're number nine, you are the number nine in this situation. So that's water sign. That's a water sign. If you're the Four of Spades is for problems, is for Gemini for number four. So if you do that, so that's air sign. So if you do 9 plus 4 is 13. Numerology 13 is angels are giving you with big changes coming your way. Now that is a fantastic uh, concept there. It's a very concept reading. It's a very good quote. That's what it seems to be, right? Now, when I think about emotions, when we look at this Six of Hearts here, it represents a different way, but it seems for when if you look at the Bible, for example, if you do, what if all my viewers do or not, if you look at the Bible for emotions, from Proverbs 29:11, it says, "A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back." Now that means that if you're negative, for example, and you're all in it, have a negative energy, try to turn that around into think about the positive energy, right? There's always a good Fabulous saying, never cry over spilt milk, or water underneath the bridge, something like that, right? And that's what it seems to be. But if you want to look at chapter 29, happy is he who keeps the law. So if you look at the Proverbs 29 in the Bible, chapter 29, happy is he who keeps the law. Okay, that's what it seems to be. Now, this is not over yet. Now, when I look at the Four of Spades for problems, now this would be 1 Peter. 1 Peter 5:7, it says, calling all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Now this is chapter 1, to the elders and the flock, which means um, the flock is like sheep or something like that. So that's what it is. Now, for the dice situation, if you have this in your birth chart, or if you're in your astrology chart or whatever it is, basically for that is you have, so basically February, you have, so February is Aquarius, you have then you have uh, Capricorn, and Capricorn for the number 1 1, and then you have June for number 6 is Gemini. So if you do all these numbers, you have basically, so 1 is for Aquarius, 5 is Gemini, 8 is Capricorn, 8 is Capricorn. If you do 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 5 plus 1 is 22. The numerology for 22 is, it is time to push forward and recognize the great success surrounding you. Now, that's what it seems to be. Now, when everything seems to be all dandy and whatnot, you have to remember that when things are taking time, you have to go along with it. It's always a specific way of knowing what to do. And when I read it between, what the Bible is saying in the words, if you look at 1 Peter 5:7, if you look at chapter 1 to the elders in the flock, if you do that, that could be the problems right there in the Gemini situation. If you're Scorpio and you have emotions, if you go from the Bible for emotions, you look at Proverbs 29:11, and you read that, you look at chapter 29, happy is he who keeps the law. And when you do that, that's what it seems to be, right? So nevertheless, to understand of what's going on, because, this is a fine reading to tell, it is very good to understand about the process and understand the situations and whatnot. And when time passes by, you have to remember that we have to remember that when we have emotions plus problems, we have to remember that problems come first and emotions come second. Now, for example, about my bad day, if I had a bad day, I would have emotions and then I have problems, right? It could be vice versa. It could be problems first and the emotions, whatever. But the point being is that when I get back to that situation, it's like I have to keep my own problems to myself, and then I have to switch from a bad day into a good day. That's what it seemed to be. And when there's a processor going on, whether it is good, bad, you know, that's what it seems to be. And when I think about this, that whenever I feel like this is what it is. Because nevertheless, we have to remember that we have to believe in ourselves. It's like what the dice are telling us. If it's 1, 1, 2, 6, you can look at your numbers, but remember about looking at, the Bible situation, looking at, your uh, your problems, or look at your find a problem and solve a solution, something like that, you know. So if you think about that in a way where we take something for granted as what they are and what they become, that's what it seems to be. Because when I take this reading, and it's a very gorgeous reading, but we have to remember that it is very good of what happens. Because, for example, when people have, I don't know, bad days, you know, you say hi to them and then they completely ignore you until they recognized you and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not having a good day," or something like that. You know, they're in their own uh, point of view, which means they are looking at something different than you. You know, it's not just they're not ignoring you. They can be in a way, but they're not really. You know, so back to my own situation here about the 1, 1, 2, and the 6 of the dice. That's what it seems to be. Because we have to remember that when we take things for granted of what they are, that's what it seems to be, you know. And when we take sides, we have to remember that who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how, because that's what it is, right? So before I let you all go, remember about looking at the Bible reading stuff. Look at about the numerology, number 13. Look at look at numerology 22. This all information will be probably in the description box. I just have to everything, and yeah, that's what it seems to be. Okay, so before I let you all go, there's only one thing that you must learn is pay attention to what I'm saying. Because when we understand what's happening, we have to remember that we can take care of business in some way. And we have to remember about that. Because when we take sides of granted, if it's a good side or a bad side, try to not look at the bad side, look at the good side. And that's what it seems to be. Because nevertheless, we have to remember that we have to have a good way of thinking, even though if it's a knowing way. So just remember about that. And remember that you can subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time when I go, and have a good day to you all, and have a good day. Bye for now. Really. Bye.